Some people call me poet. Some people call me prophet. My presentation name is not for sale. It's a gift God gave me, can't put a price on it. Take all those names, throw them away, because they don't mean anything. The only name I want you to remember on this platform when I up here is Jesus. That's the name you're going to remember when I leave. Now, today it rained today, so I took a break, and I've been studying all day. But I want to clarify a scripture for those. I don't know if you followed that scripture, what I told you, but I want to clarify that scripture when I was talking about Matthew chapter 10, verse 32 to 42. And those of you that are not well versed in the word, I'm going to try to bring I'm going to come down out of the clouds and bring some understanding to those who don't know what that means. And it's like, if you look a lot of places, and Scripture says the last days church has become blind, poor, and naked. God's view, he want to spit us right out of his mouth because it's a lukewarm church. Otherwise, they got one foot in the door and one foot out. So what that Scripture is telling you is that, like, when you really completely sell out to God, what it'll do, it'll cause a division, okay? Because a lot of times people understand when God is calling to you, he'll often use strangers. He won't use the people that are in your life because it's too much identification. And so, like, often it's like when Joseph was telling his brothers the dreams that God had showed him, because there was so much identification. Like, why would God, and they took me and sold them into slavery. So the same thing will happen to you, is that when you truly become sold out to Christ, you understand what I'm saying? You see friendships break. You see, not only will you see friendships break, you see even people in your family get distant. But there's a reason for all that. Because often when God is calling you somewhere and he wants to take you somewhere, you really, often if it's a prophetic message, you will often walk alone. It's hard to find somebody that's going to be vibrating in the spirit of where you're at. They're out there. But you can't just settle with anything. And see, the devil's job is to get you to settle with a bunch of stuff along the way so you can compromise your integrity and your honor. You see? It's like I had a guy come up to me and tell me, he said, yeah, man. He said, he called me a player. I told him them days are over with. I stopped them days like 25, 30 years ago. I don't know who told him that. You find a woman out here says she sleep with me, bring her to me. Where are these ghost people that people are talking about? They don't exist. But that's the devil's job, is to just tear down your character. But what you do is, the way that you combat that, is that you allow the people, you live your life like an open book. You allow the people to see your life. And the people who I live around every day, they see the way I move. You can call me a liar, but I ain't did nothing but tell them the truth. You can call me a thief, but all I did was guilt. I spend most of my day, most of the money I get, I don't even keep it. I'm not trying to do that in arrogance, but I'm trying to show you what will happen to you. And so, but here's the thing about it, is that even if you live a life on the side of the devil, it's going to bring confusion. When you come on the side of God, God will put a covering around. It'll bring you peace. So, but he's still going to be trials and tribulations. But for everyone, when you're on the right side, it builds you up and it makes you stronger, and you gain God's favor. So the whole thing with that scripture is trying to tell you, you may have to separate from your brother. You may have to separate from your mother. You may have to, and this is what people don't want to do, because people rather be accepted. And a lot of times when people come in your life, they're not there for the right intentions. They're there so they can get something out of you, whether it's your flesh or whether it's your money. They're not. And then ask yourself, when you really walk through your hard times, you know what? Your shadow will even leave you. That's right. Your shadow will even leave you when you go through your dark time. So, when you know that God is with you, you understand what I'm saying? That's what makes the difference. We come out here and we make risky choices all the time, but you don't never know what's on the end of that choice that you're making. So, certain things, I'm just not, if I see something that's going to compromise my integrity, it's going to compromise God's, God will be with us, but you can't come out here making foolish risks. You got one life. You understand? And once you become to the knowledge of the truth, it's up to your responsibility to apply it. So, and we're not going to do it, like I said, it's not going to happen all overnight. You know what I'm saying? But we learn as we go along. So Like, I knew what my calling was many years ago, but if I had told anybody, I read that scripture and I said, well, I'm not going to do like Joseph. I'm not going to tell nobody, but I had to wait till I got enough power. You understand what I'm saying? So, if God is with you, that's the real power. It's not money. It's not none of this stuff, because that stuff is temporary. Actually, when you come out here and you make transactions, you buy a car, you buy a house, or whatever, them things are temporal. But the things in the spirit are the things that have the value, because they're going to keep you. They're going to carry. It's going to carry you through anything. And every time you fall down, you understand? Since the steps of a good man that are ordered by the Lord, he delighteth in our way. Though we may fall, we shall not utterly be cast down, because it's the Lord who holds us up with his mighty hands. So when you walk with God, I don't care how much money people got, because you don't know what's going to happen to you in the next minute, from this minute to the next minute. But if I leave this planet, I want to know that I have right standing with the God that I serve. So I hope I clarified that scripture up for you. And people think that, oh, that's risky. You're taking risks every day. When you get on the bus, you're walking by faith there. You're getting on a bus where you don't know the driver. You know what's going to happen. Even when you walk down, you think you know people. I walk with people and turn out, get way up the road and find out they're not even near the person they presented themselves to be. But we have to learn from these situations. You know what I'm saying? And be wise enough not to go back into them. You know what I'm saying? Because God is trying to get you somewhere. You don't want to stay stagnated and keep going around in circles like a mouse. So I love all y'all. Like I told you, I do these things, by what I present to you. I hope that you know that I love you, because I do. So let it be written. So let these things be done in heaven.